look how far we've come, all the things we've done. Did it all with love, beauty from the bottom up. All I want is you, you're my favorite view. But there's nothing more, girl, you make my heart beat.
And we are back.
Welcome back, you beautiful bitches.
Doing some Friday content on this late evening. It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm tired.
We never, ever go live this late.
No.
We are going to read an article today that has made its rounds across a whole lot of social media accounts.
Okay.
I've seen probably 6 different YouTube creators pull up the article and talk about it.
Really?
Yep. All of them they didn't read the article. They just talked about it, but I was able to see the article, found it so that we can talk about it.
Is this like a juicy thing? Why is everyone taking a bite?
Well, let me pull up the screen so you can see it. Do you see the title of the article?
Okay.
American women are giving up on marriage. I'm going to have to make that bigger so you can see it, huh?
Yeah, I don't got my glasses.
All right, let me go make that bigger real quick.
Thank you, babe. Beautiful bean footage. No.
It's the roll that beautiful bean footage from Bush's Baked Beans with the dog, where the dog would talk.
I feel like this is a bean commercial.
It was.
That's awesome.
Yeah, roll
Hell
that
yeah.
beautiful bean footage. All right.
That's stupid.
It is stupid, but it stuck with me. So it was good marketing.
Yeah, it's like the Red Robin.
Yum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't see the chat right now, guys. We're going to read this article and then we'll interact with the chat afterwards. All right. So again, this is an article by the Wall Street Journal, and it's called, just to reiterate, American women are giving up on marriage. Major demographic shifts have put men and women on divergent paths. That's left more women resigned to be single. The numbers aren't netting out, is what it says.
Netting out? What does that mean? Do you know what that means?
I don't know.
Aren't netting out.
Probably just not aligning.
Okay.
All right, babe, do your thing.
I'm curious. Let's find out. After a handful of underwhelming relationships and dozens of disappointing first dates, Andrea recently called off a search for a husband. The 29-year-old always thought she'd have found her life partner by now. Instead, she's house hunting solo and considering having kids on her own. I'm financially self-sufficient enough to do these things myself, she said, who is a Boston-based accountant. I'm willing to accept being single versus settling for someone who isn't the right fit.
Okay, so I mean, that's a fair statement.
It makes sense, yeah.
But what is the right fit?
Good
At
question.
29 years old, what are you really trying to get in a marriage, right? Like your values are what should be aligning right now in your life, right? Not career paths. Like this should be, because you're still under 30. Like you still have a whole lot of life to live.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She sees her plans for an independent future as making the best of a lousy situation. I don't want to sit here and say I'm 100% happy, but I feel happier just accepting my reality. It's mentally and emotionally a sense of peace. American women have never been this resigned to stay single. They are responding to major demographic shifts, including huge and growing gender gaps in economic and educational attainment, political affiliation, and beliefs about what a family should look like.
Okay. So before we go any further, the political affiliation has become such a big deal that people won't date somebody that's on the opposite side of the fence.
Yeah.
They have divided us so far as a country that that's no longer a thing.
And we've allowed it to happen.
Right. Because we allow the politics and the news to mold and manipulate us into hating each other. People who are able to have an honest conversation about politics and not get upset always find a common ground. The how we get to where we're trying to go always looks different, but the goal is almost always the same.
Didn't somebody with a mustache once say that if we come to a two-party system, it's failed?
I mean, we are a two-party system.
Right. But I'm almost certain that somebody said that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
You have your phone on you?
I do.
Can you Google that? Because I was just thinking, wouldn't it make more sense just to have people that we can elect versus assigning them to a party? Like just campaign for what you think is right. The people will vote for you, they won't. But what's the point of a political party?
It says the statement, if we come to a two-party system we've already lost, reflects a common concern regarding the state of American democracy. but it doesn't say who said it. It's just the AI thing.
Okay.
Anyways,
Thank you for looking.
the reality is if politicians actually did their jobs, we wouldn't need politicians.
Damn.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
If the healthcare system made us healthy, we wouldn't need the healthcare system anymore. So like, it's not ever going to solve itself. It's all a fucking smoke show. But the fact that people get to the point where they get so wrapped up in their political affiliations that they're not willing to date just goes to show how fucking blind we are to what's really going on out there.
Yeah. Continuing, the numbers aren't netting out, said Daniel Cox, director of the Survey Center at American Enterprise Institute, AEI, a conservative think tank. He ticked off the data points. More women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and careers over dating and marriage. Okay. I'm processing a lot. I have some questions. The first question is, what does netting out mean? Second question is, what is a think tank?
A think tank is a group of people that get together to try to solve problems.
Okay. And then if more women are attending college than men, my mind would go to men are going straight into the workforce.
Since you're hung up on the netting out thing, it means to calculate a net or final result by subtracting or offsetting certain amounts from the gross amount. It's a way of simplifying complex figures to arrive at a clear net value, often involving the deduction of cost, expenses, or other liabilities.
Okay. Yeah, there's a reason I'm not a scientist or something.
Yeah.
But did you hear the thing I said about going into the workforce?
I didn't.
So it said more women than men are attending college, and my mind goes to that it's because men are going straight into the workforce.
They are. Well, they should be.
I hope so.
I think we're at a point now where more men are realizing that you can make money in trade jobs than you like way more than you'll ever do in a liberal arts degree or getting a degree in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people who go to college and spend tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars on useless fucking degrees that they're never going to use is astonishing. Every single person that I know that's gone to college besides one never got a job in their field. They went to college, got their degree, and went and did other shit. And it's just the way that it is.
Right.
You know, you got to think that the really popular college courses and all the people that go into that, those jobs are so oversaturated. People don't want to get out there and do carpentry or plumbing or electricians, you know what I mean? Or welding, because it's not a glorified job, but those jobs are easy to get and they're high demand, high pay. Whereas you can get a $50,000 degree in Photoshop, never use the shit, owe the government $50,000 in school loans, and then end up working at McDonald's or fucking, digging ditches or something. He ticked off the data at points more women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and careers over dating and marriage. I think there's a whole lot of reasons for that.
Elaborate.
I think that the stronger a woman gets, the less she's going to tolerate a frail man.
I agree.
But women who are going to college and getting educated, they're buying their own home and then focusing on their friendships and their careers. There's no time for dating. So at that point, if they're just waiting for the right guy to come along that checks their boxes, they're not settling for a shitty relationship. Like, I understand that. I don't think anyone should settle for a shitty relationship. You're struggling.
I'm really struggling.
We shouldn't have waited until.
Yeah, this should have been a earlier in the day kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, now we know.
Stories of women complaining about the lack of quality men having long infused pop culture, from Pride and Prejudice to Taylor Swift's Ovier. Yet women throughout history rarely question whether finding and securing a romantic partner should be a primary goal of adulthood. Over half of single women said they believe they were happier than their married counterparts in a 2024 AEI survey of 5,837 adults. Just over a third of surveyed single men said the same. A 2022 Pew survey of single adults showed only 34% of single women were looking for romance, compared to 54% of single men, down from 38% and 61% in 2019.
All right, guys, as you know, there was a TikTok scare. We lost the app for a whole 12 hours and we have no idea what the future of the app looks like. And with that, we are very concerned about the loss of our following. We have amassed almost 3 million followers across that platform with all 4 of our accounts. And we are trying to push people to other social media platforms so that in the event that anything happens on one app, we have multiple other backup plans. If you want to make sure that you're not missing any content, we highly recommend that you check out our Patreon.
On Patreon, we have multiple tiers to choose from. Starting at $10, you begin to receive exclusive content. At $15 a month, you get access to our private Discord server where we've amassed an absolutely amazing community of supportive people. And beyond that, we have other tiers to check out, along with my 2 private women's group, if that's something you may be interested in.
Guys, on our $15 and higher tier, you have access to live recordings. We record all of our content 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week, live in front of our Patreon audience, where they are able to chat with us while we're recording. They get to see all the flirting, the outtakes, the hot topic conversations that never actually make it on the podcast. And it's really worth that aspect in itself. We have an After Dark where we sit down usually once a week and have a glass of bourbon, or in Peach's case, a glass of wine and a bowl of cheese. And we have a whole lot of fun conversations, karaoke in the Discord. We finish the lyrics. We literally just hang out, and you guys get to hang out with us. There is a host of other perks, including Zoom calls that are coming for the ultimate tier, so that if you guys are having problems, you can talk to us. It also gives you the heads up on private meet and greets, because when we travel, we try to meet up with people on our Discord on a regular basis. There's a whole slew of other perks that come through Patreon. I highly recommend that you check it out.
The best way to support what we are doing is to share the content. The second best way is to check out our Patreon. Thank you guys for being here. Men were also more likely than women to say they were worried that nobody would want to date them.
Okay, so let's pause, because there's a whole lot in that one paragraph. We know that both genders are removing themselves from the dating game.
Yes.
Like, that's not a secret.
No.
They're saying that most men up until 30 years old are staying completely single. So knowing that that's a big trend in social media and all the shit that, you know, on YouTube and on TikTok, you know, you see all of that. Pew survey of single adults showed that 34% of single women were looking for romance, compared to 54% of single men, down from 38% and 61% in 2019. So like men were also more likely than women to say they were worried about nobody would want to date them. That was the thing that I really wanted to talk about.
Okay.
We know that that's the case. Women can get on Tinder and get thousands of connections. Men get on Tinder and don't. It's a lot fucking harder for a guy to find a relationship than it is for a woman to find a relationship. And with those numbers being the case, that's so skewed. That means that there are more men in the dating pool desperate than women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Wait, was it the same amount of men and women interviewed or surveyed?
Well, it said that it said a third, over a third of surveyed single men said the same. So they didn't give us the data on if it was, you know, half women, half men.
Okay. A rise in earning power and a decline in social stigma for being single has allowed more women to be choosy. They would rather be alone than be with a man who holds them back, Cox said.
Wonder what that looks like.
Yeah, I think a better way to phrase that, in my opinion, right? My opinion's not fact. The way that I would have phrased that is they would rather be alone than be with a man who abuses them, be with a man who puts them in dangerous situations, be with a man who doesn't want to be a teammate. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, it said hold them back.
Right.
So does this mean in terms of a career? Finding a man thinking he's the right one, finding out that his credit's not there, so it's hard for you to buy a house. Like, this sounds more about your social stature and where you're falling in the hierarchy of success, whatever that looks like, versus abuse or a bad relationship.
Yeah.
It sounds transactional.
For young women, especially, who tout their boy sober and off the market status on TikTok and other social media, the focus has shifted towards self-improvement, friendship, and the ability to find happiness on their own. Surveys show a decline in teenage relationships, and Gen Z is having less sex than previous generations. That was a lot of S's.
Yeah.
According to the data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
You know, go ahead.
The boys sober. What is that? Why?
Means that they're not messing with boys.
Right. They're not getting that dick.
The idea of Gen Z having less sex than previous generations, the dating and marriage declining and the population declining, we're going to get to a point that there's not going to be enough young people coming into the workforce to make sure that our countries survive. And it's going to, population control is happening because of it. And this could all be part of a bigger plan. You know, if you want to get into conspiracy theories, like we are way overpopulated right now for a planet. Our resources are running low.
Right. Isn't that a thing in Japan right now?
I don't know if it's still a thing in Japan. I know that at one point somewhere in Asia, they had a one-child policy. I think it was China.
I want to say that was China, but I'm almost certain right now in Japan that they have a low birth rate. And there's a really big worry that that's going to happen.
It's not, it will happen.
Yeah.
If there's not enough people to take the jobs that are out there, eventually an economy is going to collapse.
Right. The issue in Japan right now is that I'm seeing a lot of things. So my TikTok is like reading and crafts and relationship stuff, and then it's foreign things. And I see a lot of people just talking about how so in Japan, I think over half of them make $1,500 a month. And that's not enough to even have a pet and be able to stay afloat and make sure you have all of the necessity that you need. And like a lot of people are saying, how are we supposed to have a family if we can't? And he worked from 7 a.m. He left his house at 7 a.m. and didn't get home until about 10:30 at night.
It's crazy.
He was dressed nicely, so it was like an office job where he was able to sit down. But that's absolutely insane. Even if you were making the money to have a family,
there's no time for it.
Right? If both parents were working, what's the point? Crisis of connection. The share of women ages 18 to 40 who are single, that is neither married nor cohabitating with a partner, was 51.4% in 2023, according to an analysis of census data by the Aspen Economic Strategy Group, up from 41.8% in 2000.
Okay, so there was a 10% drop.
10% increase.
In 23 years?
10% increase.
Of women who are single.
Living alone, yeah.
Yeah. That is neither married or cohabitating.
These numbers don't specify whether women are looking for love or swearing it off, but more nuanced surveys show how single women appear less interested in getting married now than they used to be. They also seem less keen on getting hitched than their male peers. In 2023, Pew Research Center survey of 5,073 U.S. adults, 48% of women said that being married was not too or not at all important for a fulfilling life, compared with 39% of men, up from 31% and 28% in 2019. In a 2024 Wall Street Journal NORC poll, 58% of women aged 18 to 29 said marriage was at least somewhat essential to their vision of the American dream, compared with 66% of men.
When you really think about it, the narrative has shifted so much where men are still get married, have a family, provide, protect, lead, and women have moved so far away from wanting to be a wife that like the numbers are so skewed now that the good men that want that kind of thing may never find that family because of the way the numbers are.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
It is insane to think about.
On the marriage aspect too, and with finances, that that statistics have shown that men who are married make more money. They live longer. They have better health. Better immune systems. I'm gonna have to edit this, and then when we clip this episode, we're gonna have to clip it the old school way, where it's full screen. Because every time I start talking, you close your eyes. Somebody told me today on one of the TikTok videos that I dominate the conversation and you are totally checked out when we're talking.
I close my eyes so I can focus.
I know. That's
right. But
we're going to have to go back to the other form of clipping.
That's so stupid.
Isn't it?
I can't have real life subtitles. So I can't get distracted if my eyes are shut and I'm just focused on what you're saying.
Yeah. Let's get back to it.
You're done?
That was it. I was just, it's just crazy to me that men perform better in life in every facet if they're married because we have a reason to live.
Yeah. Marriage rates for both men and women are in decline, in part owing to less pressure to pair off and higher expectations for a would-be match. Dating apps make people feel like there might always be a better option, said Melissa Kearney, an economist. Economist? Oh, is it economist? At the University of Maryland. They view looking for a marriage partner the same way you view looking for a job candidate. But men seem more satisfied with their options than women. A 2023 AEI survey of college-educated women found that half blamed their singlehood largely on an inability to find someone who meets their expectations. Less than a quarter of single men said the same.
So that speaks to the expectations of women versus men. Rule of sixes.
Yeah.
We don't have that. We look for somebody that's going to bring us peace, that's going to enrich our life. We're not looking for somebody that has $100,000 a year income, that is, the perfect banging body and like a great career.
Like
and like
5'3".
Right. We're not
double
looking,
D, thin waist.
right. And with the app thing that they had mentioned there always being a better option. Women getting connected the way that they do versus men, of course they're going to feel like there's always another option. And men are not going to feel that way because the dating apps don't favor men.
Mm-hmm. What didn't we do a whole episode about how they won't even get showed in the algorithm and they can go weeks or months with zero hits?
Yep.
Yeah.
We did. There was actually a woman who did, she created a man profile on Tinder to see how it worked out. And she said that it took her like 2 or 3 months before she finally got a match. And when she finally got a match, it was somebody asking for money, trying to like hustle, like, I need money for my bills, darling, that kind of thing. And she said that it completely blew her mind how little interactions men get compared to women. Cause like she created the profile from like a pretty decent looking dude. Like she pulled it was all like an experiment or whatever.
Right.
But
scientific catfish.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was for. But she said it kind of broke her heart a little bit knowing that men are treated the way that they are on those apps because there was no real connections. It took her a year before she finally found like an actual connection.
Yeah.
That was a real person that was looking to connect, that wasn't looking to take advantage of him.
That's insane.
Isn't it?
That's absolutely insane. All right. Continuing. To the extent that some women are staying single because this is what they want, that's great, said Kearney. But we have to take seriously the likelihood that many are doing it as a plan B because they're not finding what they're looking for, and that should make us concerned. Boyfriends for Christmas.
By Christmas.
Oh, by Christmas. I was like, wow, what a thing. Okay, boyfriends by Christmas. So are we rushing this process? Let's find out. Last year, Michelle told her 3 adult daughters she wanted them to have boyfriends by Christmas. She had a dream, she told them, that each of them was standing in front of a lit up tree next to a hunk who liked to ski and went to a good school. This dream went unfulfilled, admitted Katie, who is 30 and runs Lumi, a leadership coaching startup out of New York City. Maybe we're doing it wrong. So much pressure to put on somebody.
Right.
Have a boyfriend by Christmas. I don't care who fits the role. I just need you to have somebody so I can, I don't know, take aesthetic photos, fill my vision and feel like I'm doing something. I would rather my children find fulfilling relationships versus catering to what would make me feel good as a parent.
Right.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to do this alone.
Right.
Like my life is enriched because of you. Right. So the idea of us having never gotten together because I'm just 1 inch under 6 foot, or I don't have a 6-pack. Like that could have been enough based off of the societal standards of what you're supposed to have in a man, that like I could have missed out on all of this. You could have too. Like, I don't think that either one of us settled by any means.
No.
But like there are people out there who would view our relationship as us settling for each other.
Yeah.
That's insane to think about. People are going to live their lives and be fucking miserable and find out that they're the crazy cat lady at 50 years old and look back on their lives and been like, damn, I worked.
Yeah.
I sold 50 years of my life or 30 years of my life to a corporation and all I have to show for it is a little bit of money. I don't have lifelong relationships. I don't have children. I don't have security in my future because of it. There's no legacy. There's no bloodline. There's nothing. I'm going to end up alone and all that money is going to end up in the bank account while I'm in a retirement home.
Yeah.
If you even make it that long, you know what I mean? Like where's the life living at that point?
Continuing.
Yep.
Katie spent the first half of 2024 going on 3 or 4 dates a week with men she met on apps such as Hinge and Bumble in the hopes of finding a husband before turning 30. By the end of the year, she had ramped down the search, calling it the only thing you could put 10,000 hours into and end up right where you started. I disagree with that. That's 10,000 hours of recognizing what you don't want in a partner. That's 10,000 hours of learning more about yourself and the expectations that you have in life and for the future.
Yeah.
It sucks. That sucks. What straight camel dick. What they saying? Step Brothers.
I don't remember. I'm not a big Step Brothers fan.
No, I've heard you quote it sometimes.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
She said 10,000 hours, but she only went for half of 2024, 3 or 4 dates a week. There's no way she hits the 10,000 hour mark. So she has no idea. That's a very pessimistic mindset.
Many of the men Katie met, she said, either seemed turned off by her ambition or weren't career orientated enough for her. She felt discouraged by just how many of her male friends similarly said they expected, I got caught up on the word and I messed up the next one.
You're good. Their future wives to prioritize their families over their jobs. So what she's saying is she found a whole bunch of men that wants to have
traditional family,
traditional values.
The nuclear family.
That's what most men want.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that most women don't want to be in a household. There are a whole lot of women out there that want to be in the workforce, but there's also a whole lot of women who don't.
Mm-hmm.
And the women who don't may be the only ones who are left looking in the dating pool. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Continuing, yet Katie's luck may be changing. She recently started dating a man she was set up with who seems interested in starting a family and supportive of her career. She admitted she was wary at first. I thought it was too good to be true. The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been more complicated by a growing divide in education and career prospects between men and women. In 2024, 47% of American women ages 25 to 34 had a bachelor's degree, according to Pew, compared to 37% of men. So I'm going to say again, I strongly believe it's because men are going straight into the workforce. And they don't, like you said, see a purpose in going to college.
I think it's funny that they're using a growing divide in education and career prospects.
Yeah.
You can get a degree and be a fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, you remembered how to pass a test, or you're really good at this one subject.
Congratulations, you made a left turn.
Right? Like I have a 7th grade education.
Right.
You have a better education than I do. So by that definition, you are more educated than I am.
Too good for you.
Right. If we were on our first date and you were like, I got a bachelor's degree, and I'm like, yeah, I had fucking dropped out before I even really made it to high school. And that was the end of the conversation because you think that I'm an uneducated oaf that doesn't have any type of real skills or ability in life. And that was the end of the conversation. And you just kind of pacified the rest of the evening. You would have no idea of all of the accomplishments that I've had.
Right.
That's a fucking stupid statement.
Yeah. You know, I think the context of why the man wants his wife to stay home and raise a family matters. Right? If he is a good man and wants those things and wants to give his wife the world and make sure his children are raised properly and is the man that we describe, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
You know? And I know that some women are becoming frustrated by that or feel like that's oppressive. I disagree with that. I live a really good life. I don't feel oppressed. I don't feel like I have anything being taken away from me or part of me is being snuffed out because I'm not working a corporate job or leaving the house every day to do something. Now, if this is a man who's abusive and wants to financially control you and does not view you as a human and all of the very negative, nasty things, I agree with not getting married or being in a relationship.
Right.
I don't know what the dating game looks like, so I don't know what kind of scumbags are out there right now.
Right. Well, there's always going to be abusive people.
Yeah.
Period. Male and female. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it matters. Obviously, nobody should be in an abusive relationship, but that's not the norm. That's an outlier. Like, I just don't believe that every person that's on the market that wants a traditional value relationship is trying to abuse somebody. It's just not the case.
I agree.
This thing went on to say that a bachelor's degree increases net lifetime earnings by an estimated $1 million, according to a 2024 report from Georgetown University. If you only make $1 million in your lifetime, you're not doing so great. You figure the average person works for 60 years,
Right.
50 years, from 18 to 60, 18 to 70, depending. So you're working 45 to 60 years And if that's the
40
case,
to 60 hours a week.
right? If that and you can only make $1 million a year, you really fucked up in life, or $1 million over that time frame.
A lifetime earning. Yeah.
I know a lot of blue collar workers that can do that in a decade,
Oh yeah.
and they don't have a bachelor's degree. And if they got a bachelor's degree, I don't think that they would have made the money that they're making. Now, they could, obviously, depending on what their bachelor degree was in. But like, you get a guy that learns how to build homes, learns how to do the plumbing and electric, and then opens a contracting business without a bachelor's degree, he could make millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
So I understand that these statistics are real. They're obviously a thing because there's been fucking studies done on it. But I don't think that you need a degree to make real money like that. I just don't.
Continuing.
Yep.
Women are doing comparatively well when it comes to education in their early years in the labor force, and men are doing comparatively badly, said Brad Wilcox, a fellow at the Conservative Institute for Family Studies and a sociology professor at the University of Virginia. This creates a mismatch because people prefer to date in terms of comparable education or income.
The income I understand.
Yeah.
The education I don't. Because again, you can have a degree and be a fucking idiot.
I agree. I think some people, not everyone, so if you get butthurt over this, I would ask yourself why. I think some people who do go and get educated to a certain point get pious about it.
Sometimes.
And look down on people who haven't hit their level, even people who are above average in IQ. They still treat them as if they're idiotic.
The income aspect, though, we know, again, because of social media and all the shit that's been spouted since we started the podcast, is women are trying to date men who make more money than them.
Yeah.
And that's why they have the 6-figure rule for dating. Well, if you're not making 6 figures, what makes you think you deserve a man of 6 figures if that's the stats that we're using?
That's a good question. Men's economic struggles seem to be having the biggest effect on women without a college degree, whose marriage rates by age 45 have plummeted from 79% to 52% for those born between 1930 and 1980, according to research by Cornell University economist
Benjamin Goldman.
Young men without a degree are struggling so much as a group that there simply aren't enough with steady jobs and earnings for non-college women to date, said Goldman.
So I don't think that that's a steady job thing. I think that's a workless thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that comes down to lack of men in the home, lack of proper mentorship, too many men being raised by women that are allowed to come home doing that fucking, stay-at-home son bullshit because it's easier than to have to parent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love my son. I don't mind if he lives in my basement until he's 60.
I don't want him to have a hard life.
Right. I just want him to have the life I never had. I
Right.
understand that it's hard out there.
He's my baby.
Right. So of course he can't keep a fucking job because he's never hit rock bottom and doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And now that would actually increase this if the women out there are getting higher paying jobs and are just looking for a man that can fall into the stay-at-home dad role or stay-at-home husband role. Those type of neckbeards will fit that role perfectly.
Oh yeah, but they're not the quality of man that they're looking for.
Right, but the relationship also wouldn't work out because they would get tired of that lazy bullshit,
Yes.
especially with a motivated, driven person.
Ambitious.
Right.
All those things, like they
Right.
mentioned earlier. For Christina, a 31-year-old wildland firefighter in rural Republic, Washington, who didn't go to college, buying a house was confirmation she didn't need a partner to be content. She paid $90,000 for a 2-bedroom on a half-acre of land in 2022.
Gotta have to look into that little area.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Nope.
I'll have it paid off in the next 2 years, so I don't feel like I need to be tied financially to somebody, she said.
So that's how she views a relationship. A marriage is being tied to somebody financially.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, a lot of people are getting into relationships and moving in out of that financial need.
Well, younger people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Younger people are definitely doing that. She's 31 years old. When I think of younger people doing that, I'm thinking of people under 25. I'm thinking of the people who are fucking 17 people in a 2-bedroom house and, living in a flop house.
You could have kept talking. I don't know why you paused.
Because I wasn't sure what you were doing. You were looking in the other direction.
I was yawning,
Well.
so I wasn't.
Yeah, your leaves and everything blocks your face, and when you turned your head, I couldn't see you at all. So you're breaking stuff.
That really spooked me. It's because I'm slouching because I'm tired. Continuing, after her last relationship ended in 2023 when she discovered he was still on Tinder, she doubted she would find someone else who aligned with her progressive views in her conservative town.
Oh, see, there you go. There's the politics.
Yeah. Even if he wasn't actively chatting with somebody on Tinder, having the account, I view that as cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those things should be deleted when you get into a relationship.
Continuing, so she stopped looking. If I need companionship, I volunteer at the dog shelter. I mean, that's definitely a way to handle it. I mean, dogs don't replace a man. But
no, they don't. I actually don't like that statement.
Yeah.
It puts us, and it puts men in a very low standard.
Single people in large cities where home prices have surged in recent years are finding that their marital statuses has hampered their finances. Although the wealth gap between single men and women appears to be shrinking, real estate prices have helped drive a near doubling of the wealth gap between singles and couples from 2010 to 2022. Married couples had $393,000 in median wealth in 2022, according to the St. Louis Federal Reserve, while unmarried people, including those who were partnered but not married, had $80,000.
People do better when they're married.
Yes. Economists say married couples are more likely to have assets such as homes and cars, which have grown in value faster than wages in recent years.
Yeah, because they're working together as a team.
Yes.
And that teamwork sometimes looks like one person doing all the work outside of the home and somebody doing all the work inside the home.
Mm-hmm.
If you can have somebody that's business minded that needs help in other facets of their life, like that's the teamwork.
Continuing, different worldviews. For Alicia, not having anyone else to financially depend on or split rent with is the worst part of being single. Is this all just about financial stuff?
Well, this is the Wall Street Journal. So there's always going to be, finances in there. But she just said the worst part about being single is she doesn't have anybody to help pay her rent. That sounds like a fucking great person that I would want to be with.
Yeah, that just sounds like you need a roommate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
The worst part about not having somebody for me is the lack of emotional connection, the lack of daily support from somebody who I know loves me.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do this alone.
Right. Continuing, especially with the threat of layoff, it's much more stressful being a single person, said Jones, who is 38 and works in communications for the real estate company in Washington, D.C. Her last long-term relationship ended 2 years after over conflicting views of their shared future. He wanted the white picket fence and me at home with the kids, Jones said. This despite the fact that her salary was nearly 50% higher than his. Jones, who identifies as politically moderate, thinks couples with kids should split household and childcare responsibilities equally. It will never be equal.
No.
Okay. She was surprised by just how few of the men she has encountered in DC share this view. Either they held traditional ideas about marriage or were extremely crunchy liberal and wanted to live in a van and drive across the country. Before she pulled back from dating last year, Jones tried her luck at a singles event. She left with 3 numbers, all belonging to women who became friends, whom she now meets for drinks or dinner multiple times a month. The men at the event, the 4 women agreed, seemed more interested in the brewery's board games than the people in the room. They spent the night getting to know one another instead.
Well, I mean, you're wanting somebody to pay your rent.
Mm.
And you don't want a traditional man. And everything this article has stated is that most men want traditional relationships and most women don't.
Right.
That's what this whole article is saying.
Yeah, and that's not the men's problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you as a woman want something different, asking a man to bend to that and sacrifice what he wants is pretty fucked up.
Right.
And vice versa, of course, but
why would you expect men to give you attention and at a singles event if you're having your conversations and finding out that you're anti everything they want? Why the fuck would they give you attention?
Right.
And even more than that, all of the things that you think you're bringing to the table to a man doesn't fucking matter because we don't care about any of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you have an uppity attitude or you think that you're some fucking my shit don't stink kind of person and like you're condescending with the way that you talk because you make a little bit of extra money and your values don't align, of course they're not going to give you attention. Furthermore, if you're not attractive, you're not getting attention.
Right. A growing political divide between men and women has compounded the challenges of finding love. Around 39% of women ages 18 to 29 identified as liberal in 2024, according to Gallup, compared with 25% of their male counterparts. This gap has more than tripled in a decade. 32% of women and 28% of men have called themselves liberal in 2014. These differences aren't merely about preferences or votes, explains University of Denver psychology professor Galina Rhodes, who researches romantic relationships. Rather, politics have become an expression of one's core values about everything from economic inequality to bodily autonomy. They are reflective of people's worldviews, said Rhodes.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
But that's just because they've used identity politics to fuel the hatred in the political parties.
Right. What was politics before this? Before it came a part of people's personalities and shit.
Well, I mean, up until the 90s, people didn't talk about their politics. MTV made, Rock the Vote.
Yeah.
And all of that shit. They had the Choose something. Anyways, that was when politics became openly discussed. Before that, people didn't talk about their politics. It was rude. It was like talking about religion. You don't do that. So,
continuing, the latest presidential election and the first months of Trump administration have intensified this ideological rift. Rachel Gozzetti, a 33-year-old real estate agent in Savannah, said she broke up with her boyfriend, with whom she shares a 5-year-old son, over a year ago because she was tired of doing most of the childcare, cooking, and scheduling, while also earning almost double her boyfriend's salary. She has yet to date anyone else, in part because she worries about living in a red state with 6-week abortion ban. I have a child that I can't leave behind to drive to Virginia if I have a pregnancy scare, and definitely can't afford another child as a single mom.
What a bullshit statement. With all of the ability that you have to not get pregnant.
The contraceptions.
Right. Prophylactics, all of it. There's no reason for that to even be a thing. You can get on birth control. You can use Plan B.
Right.
You can. There's a whole lot of shit you can do that's not even a thing. And if that's your excuse for not dating, you are fucking totally brainwashed.
Yeah.
You should leave that red state. You should just move out of it. Go live in California, where you can kill your baby at fucking 9 months old or however old it is there now. Unreal.
Others are intentionally heading into motherhood solo.
Why?
We're going to find out. Tina, who is 34 and works for a health startup, still hopes that one day she'll be swept off her feet. But she says she has spent much of the past year trying to talk herself out of her fantasies of a romantic, happy ending. Realizing she was rushing into relationships out of fear of running out her biological clock, that her favorite part of dating had become debriefing with her friends the next day.
Wow.
She decided to separate her desire to find a partner from her desire to become a mom.
It's no wonder that people are so fucking miserable in the dating pool right now.
Nuhi, who splits her time between New York City and San Diego, has lately spent hours researching the single mothers by choice movement and started saving for a baby with a high-yield savings account. Parenthood and romantic love doesn't have to be intrinsically linked, she said. The only hurdle getting her traditional family on board. At first, they tried to convince me that I still had plenty of time to find somebody, but they seemed to have come around.
I mean, that was the end of the article. I have never looked into this whole single mother by choice movement.
Yeah.
But I have a real fucking problem with that one. Like, I have a huge problem with that one. I don't think that there should be single parents. Like, I understand that people are going to get divorced.
Right.
But in a perfect world, the parents would work their shit out and a child would have a mom and a dad in a house together.
Yeah.
Because you get something from both parents. And by choosing to have a baby and not be in a relationship and not having a man in the house with them, we've already seen how bad that goes.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good environment for a child to grow up in. Every single statistic goes through the fucking roof when men aren't around.
Mm-hmm.
Rape goes up. Drug use goes up. People dropping out of school, more likely to go to prison, more likely to be addicted to drugs. Like, those rates go through the fucking roof.
Right. I don't think that women shouldn't become moms just because they don't have a man in their life, or shouldn't be moms because something happens. I do believe that there should be some sort of strong male present there, whether it be an uncle, male best friend, grandpa, whatever the case may be. Women, I'm exhausted. This is a lot for me to process. I've been a single mom and that shit was hard.
Yeah.
And having a lack of a good support system made it even harder. And I don't understand, right? Because it's not just hard on the single mom, it's hard on the kids. It can be hard on the kids. Now, if you're a single mom who's making $700,000 a year doing what you're doing, I can see why you're making that choice. It might be easier for you. You can hire nannies, do the thing, take more days off of work if you need to for sick days. But if you're a mom who is working 2 jobs to stay afloat, you can't just take a day off of work or hire a nanny or go to daycare.
Right.
So I know that being a mom is a big goal for a vast majority of women. I know some women don't want to have kids, and that's cool. I'd rather you not bring a child into a situation you know that's not good for them. Or I've seen women say that I'm not emotionally mature enough to have kids, or I'm too selfish, and I'm glad that you can recognize that and not have children. I love that. Oh, I don't remember what I was saying. What was I saying?
Talking about emotional maturity.
Before that.
You were talking about moms not being able to make enough money as a single mom and the difference.
Oh, yeah. If you're in a position where you're already struggling for yourself and you decide to have a child while being a single parent, you're going to put that child through struggle. If you have a lack of a good support system, you're going to give that child a lack of a good support system.
I think both of those situations are going to end up with a fucked up kid. When you intentionally have a child just because your biological clock is ticking, whether you're a woman who can't afford to take care of that child and you have to work all the time and the kid's got to grow up in the public school system and daycares and living with aunts and uncles or grandmas and you know what I mean? And that whole thing because you chose not to have a man in your life, or you're the $700,000 a year worker who's traveling all over the world and doing all of these things that has a nanny and private schooling and all of that shit. You're not parenting anyway. So what's the fucking point?
Right.
There's not a family there. You're literally just having a baby because you know that eventually you're not going to be able to have a baby.
Right. It's more of an accessory. Say
Right.
I did the thing.
Look at my little handbag child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was becoming 40 and I got scared, so I had a kid. Meet Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that article. I don't like that that's becoming a thing. I hate that.
Yeah.
Because I really thought that we were on a swing back to traditional values.
Mm-hmm.
We swung so far away from that shit. And like, we know that everything does that.
It breathes, expands and contracts.
Right. And we got so far away that it's got to come back in, and we're going to get back to somewhat like some form of normalcy. Like we can't
normalcy.
Just keep doing what we're doing. So I don't know.
I'm not trying to correct you to frustrate you. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, I know it's normalcy, but normalcy sounds better to me.
Oh, hell yeah. Get it, babe. I'm here for that shit. I say things wrong too if I think it sounds better.
Yeah.
Like scenario.
Or salmon.
Oh, so there's things that I want to touch on.
Okay.
So I have not completed a single episode of Star Trek Discovery.
Yep.
I have not watched a single episode of it last night. I mean, I have not watched a single episode of it, period. Last night, my husband put on the series finale.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like quietly sobbing into my pillow as my husband snores because this shit's ending. I have no idea who these people are. I have no idea what connections they have. And they're like being super meaningful. And there's this part where they're like reflecting on things. And I'm like, like I'm batting my eyes and shit. Like, this is so stupid because it's just like the human experience. I literally know nothing about the show. I know that one guy's like phalanges fell out. Yeah. And that's it. And the main chick is named Michael. And I thought it was Michelle, but it's not.
No, it's not. It's Michael.
It's Michael. And there's a guy named Book.
Yeah, Booker.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know that she got transferred to a ship with Book.
Why were you crying?
Because the show ended. Relationships ended. I got emotionally invested in the last 45 minutes of a years long television series. And I cried. And then, oh gosh, what was it? Our kids, they say the most ridiculous shit. Our daughter said today, so I have gotten the children into a skincare routine. It's been going good, right? They're not being hectic. They're not making messes. And our daughter is really on board with the lotion. Yeah, look at me. It makes me feel soft. I'm delicate. I'm a princess. She was sitting in the kitchen as I was cooking dinner. And she walked in and she had her little lotion bottle. And she was like, Mommy, is it okay if I sit in here and put on my lotion? I was like, yeah, you're good. And she's doing her thing over there. And she was like, is this a good amount? I'm like, you're doing great, baby. She always shows me the amount so she doesn't overdo it. And
which is crazy because she fucking wastes everything.
She does. She really does. She knows I'll take it away and I'll be serious about it. I'll use it in front of her and be like, yeah, you lost it. This is great. And she's back there and she's doing her thing. And all I hear her say is, yeah, I rub it in my skin real good. I turned around. I was like, what did you just say? And she was like, my lotion. I'm doing a really good job. Just rub it in there. I was like, get it. And she was like, do you want some lotion? And I was like, yeah, I can hike my pants up. She put lotion on one of my legs, just the front part of the shin and kind of the back of it behind the knee. Like it wasn't even a coherent.
That's funny.
Wipe. Yeah. Oh, and another thing. We were in the car today and they're so dramatic. Our son got a scratch on his leg. I have not seen this scratch, but he was like, it's healing. I'm good. We're fine. And our sissy, I asked the children, I was like, guys, what is something you're scared of? Like I asked them random questions just to gauge where they're at and know them on a deeper level. And our son said something and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And our daughter said, being itchy. And I was like, why? Like, what about being itchy makes you scared? And she was like, it reminds me of open wounds and bleeding and just, She did that. And I was like, okay, but I don't understand. Like, how does itching correlate to an open wound? It was like, is it because it's itchy when it heals? And she was like, no, it's just gross. Like, so she couldn't connect the dots there. But then our son hiked his leg up and he was like, a wound like this, and like pointed at his boo-boo. And she went, huh? I don't like it. I can see the bone. And I was like, you can't see the bone. And she looks at me, she's like, but it feels like I can. And I was like, it's just insane being a parent. And I get dramatic like that. And seeing her being dramatic, I love that you deal with me.
That was a whole lot to get to that last part.
Yeah. Well, I have fun with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me telling me these stories is fun for me.
Yeah. Your garden's almost done.
Yep, the garden's almost done. We have to get the roof on, put dirt in there. I made a TikTok today. I looked absolutely, I don't know, like I was a hot banana peel left out in the sun on the beach and pelicans picked at it for a few days. I had chapped lips. I was sweating. My hair was a mess with flyaways. And I made a TikTok and it was a really good TikTok. I was like, look at this. My husband loves me. He's great. Meditation bench. Look at the door. I really like the door out there. And then I asked, so you know how people are like, am I the asshole? I was like, help me with homesteading. And I didn't post it because of how I need to clean up a little bit. But I asked, like, what should I plant in my garden? Because like I have an outline, but there's a lot of room out there.
Yep, there's the whole point.
So I was like, what is the staple in your garden that you think everybody should have? And whomever I come across, and I was like, ooh, yeah, I like that one. If Kelly's like garlic, when I plant the garlic seeds, I'll be like, yeah, Kelly told me to do that.
Yeah.
So it's like a little shout out every time we talk about the garden of whomever did that. And I think that's going to be fun. We've been doing a whole purge of the house.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
We have a kitchen table again.
Yeah, which is nice because the kids are eating their meals instead of playing and watching television.
Our table looks good. I feel like it looks good.
Zach said tomatoes. We got tomatoes growing.
And they taste fantastic. Tasted one this morning. It was a little unripe, a little crunchy, but it tasted great.
I posted a video of all of that to the Life account today, and I posted a video of what the man cave is looking like right now.
Yeah.
So we still don't have internet for those of you who are paying attention to our internet debacle. I was told yesterday or on Monday that it will take, once the fiber company lets Comcast know that the final installation was done, it'll be up to 5 business days before Comcast reaches out to me to schedule them coming out to install a router.
Jeez.
So them telling me that we would have internet by 5/28 and then 6/23 and it both being wrong has completely fucked us.
Yeah.
And we got rid of the studio very prematurely. And it's creating a whole lot of stress in me. It took me 48 hours to upload the last episode we did. It just finished. I can't.
The tattoo shop.
I would have to bring my laptop and sit there the entire time. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
A lot of dumb shit.
Can we sue Comcast?
I got to be honest. I thought about it.
Like, this is now disrupting our work life and we're having a loss of income because of their fucked up installation dates.
Yeah. But it's Comcast. And they've got a lot more money than we do.
Suck my big toe.
As always, guys, remember you are the author of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.